To renovate or not to renovate? That is the question that most people are facing when it comes to buying their home. Whether they're going to go for something, it's a bit of a doer-upper, they can add their own style to it, or they want something shiny, new, perfectly made for when they move in. Hi, I'm Sam Fox, a mortgage expert here in the UK. And on my channel, I go through everything there is to know about mortgages, whether it's deposits, mortgage terms, lenders, criteria, you name it, I'll go through it. My mission this year is to help as many people as possible understand the world of mortgages and to get on the property ladder. So if 2026 is the year for you, do me a favor, like and subscribe to the channel. We upload content every single week to make sure life is a little bit easier for you. The biggest dilemma with first-time buyers is looking at the cost versus the convenience. So let's look at the cost of buying somewhere and doing it up. You might find somewhere that looks like a bit of a gem, but it needs new flooring, new carpet, new kitchen, new walls, probably new electrics. It needs a bit of everything in there, but you can spot that potential because there's so much value you can add into it, which is going to build up your equity. And at a later stage, you might be able to use that, pull some money out, or use it to buy a bigger house in the future. But you're on the other side of it, on the flip side of the coin, I was going to say, got mixed up there. On the flip side of the coin, you have the convenience. So I'm talking about a new build. The new build might be more expensive, but you're going in and you're telling them, put this floor down, I want the walls this color, this sort of kitchen, I want these worktops. And by the time you get your keys, it's all sorted. But when you're paying for the convenience, it is a little bit more expensive. Now, looking at where I started, I've got a video on my channel breaking down exactly what I did the first time I bought a house, and I went down the cost route. I found a house that needed a lot of tender loving care, and I decided to do it up using different means by some savings, some loans, some credit cards. But yeah, go and watch that whole video about there. But it was quite expensive. I always thought, right, I've got my 5% deposit. I can buy this house, spend 10 grand and get where it needs to be. But it wasn't. It was actually more 25 grand. So the risk of buying somewhere on the cost basis is that you might overspend. And if you don't have those savings available, you might then start taking out loans and credit cards to finish that work, which might then negate the impact you wanted to have of having a nicer home, but it's been cost effective. On the flip side, you've got the higher cost in home, which might typically be a new build, but you've got that immediate gratification. As I said, you've got a ready-made home to move into that allows instant occupancy without waiting for a construction or anything like that. To be honest with you, the only thing you're really waiting for is going to be your couch, because we don't want to order the couch too soon, because then if it gets delayed, the build gets delayed and you're stuck with a big couch outside and they're ringing you saying we can't get in the house because it's not ready because your flooring isn't down. But that is one of the very, very small problems that might be actually occurring with a new build. But you do get a ready-made home. As I said before, tiles are done, flooring's done, everything is done as you move into that house. You might have to pay an extra couple of grand, but you haven't got the headache. Where if you buy a house that needs work doing to it, you might be moving in and living in your own version of a building site along the way. Another point is hidden costs. So renovation projects seem really appealing and you might have the extra 10 grand in the bank account to get it sorted, but there will be unexpected expenses, time delays and stress that people can underestimate. I mean, you might get in there, the boiler looks fine, but as soon as you bought the house and got the keys, the boiler might blow, and it's an extra couple of grand that you need to spend. Or there might be damp issues that haven't shown up on a level 1 survey that you might need to get resolved, and that's going to be a couple of grand to get sorted. So if you are buying a renovation property, I'd always expect the unexpected, that it will cost more money than you have budgeted. And the other factor is, if you do go for the budget entry, then it might mean a doer-upper gives you access to a bigger property in a more desirable area, but it means it's going to be a lower initial price because the seller knows you have to pump a load of money into the house to get it where it is, like the rest of the street or that area. Now, if you're buying a new build, you do have a snagger list and you've got up to 2 years to say to them, look, this floor has done this has got a crack here, that's not working over there, and they're obliged to come and sort that for you. So what you tend to find is when you move into a new build, the site or the developer who's built all the houses there will come around with a survey for you and make sure that everything's sorted. And if not, they'll make a long list of them and they will get them sorted eventually. Will from the office, he's also just bought a new build. There were some issues with the flags outside. Within a week, they've all been lifted up. They're waiting for the weather to be a little bit nicer and they're going to relay all these flags for him so it's not a headache that he's got to have or at any cost to him as well. So the quality assurance with the new build is, yes, it might be a little bit more expensive for the house, but you're going to make sure when you're moving in, everything is to your standard. Another good point is predictable costs. So unlike a renovation project with a new build, you can pretty much bang on say what it's going to cost you every single month and you can start budgeting that beforehand. Whereas in a renovation project, until you're in, you start knocking out walls and ripping up flooring, you don't really know the true cost involved to get it all sorted. So with the new build, you're paying a little bit more money for those reassurances, and you can start spending money on your furniture. They also come with modern features as well. So smart homes sometimes have better technology, and more often than not, they have better EPC ratings, they're better insulation. They're usually rated an A or a B, you'll find in most cases, which means utility bills might be a little bit more a little bit more less expensive than a renovation house, which got an EPC rating of maybe F or something like that. And the other thing with new build is more and more of them are now being fitted with electrical power outlets. Didn't know what I was going to say there, but yeah, you know those big things, the plug your car into, can cost a couple of grand, but more and more new homes now are being fitted with them anyway. And as the world evolves and we've got this target to be fully electric with our vehicles, that's going to be a real plus for you as well. It's one other headache you don't have to think about. To summarize, it's a stress-free move-in. You're moving into a new build with no construction disruptions. Well, actually, you might have some disruptions if it's a really new build site, like a really new one, and the roads aren't really in properly, and the across the road still being built, and they're trying to sell to potential new neighbours. So apart from that, in terms of your house, you're going to be moving in with no construction disruptions. Wow, that's a real hard. You get the point anyway. But you can settle in immediately. Now, there are upsides to the renovations as well. A well-executed project can significantly increase the property value. So if you're going to go in, gut it completely, strip the walls back, new electrics, new boiler, flooring, kitchen, you name it, then the appeal immediately is going to increase to somebody else buying it. And if you live in there for a couple of years, your equity is going to build up and you'll achieve a much better sale value. And it's a really good way to do this if your intentions are buy somewhere small and manageable, add as much value as possible, and sell again within the next 2 to 5 years and buy your potential forever home. It's a great way of doing that. And if you've made it this far and you're thinking, still not too sure, Sam, then that's absolutely fine. That's why you should drop me an email. It's sam@ukmc.co.uk, and I will help you understand the finances behind both. But don't worry, it's natural for us to be a bit confused and not understanding which direction we want to go in, because it's the potential the first time we're going to do this. But having some guidance, a proper plan in place, and thinking about the future will help you understand what's going to be best for your goals. Do me a favour, like I said at the start, like and subscribe. See you soon.